Welcome back, friends and fellow gamers, to another episode of Adventure with Roger. Today we're going to be jumping back into the Earth 2 fiasco, and I'm just going to keep giving more and more information to you guys the more I find so that you can make a decision for yourself. Is it a scam? We're just going to find out together and see how far this rabbit hole keeps going. So the first thing today I want to show you guys is just some more simple research that I've done, and I'm just gonna go through it with you as fast as I can. But before we do that, don't forget to please subscribe to the channel. It would really help me out. It's completely free for you, and give me a thumbs up to help me out with that YouTube algorithm. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Let's do this. Alright guys, so the first thing I did is, if you've been following my videos at all, obviously Earth 2 is not a game, and the way they're advertising it as a game, really, I have some conflicted feelings about it, because there's nothing about this that is a game. It's basically a map. It's not, please don't be fooled and think that this is Google Maps, because it's not Google Maps. It's just a map, and they put a grid over it to sell tiles to people. So the first thing we look at here is it says E2 Terrain Engine. We are officially partnered with Mapbox and 5CA and are working on additional partnerships, collaborations, and projects to maintain our leading position as we transform into the world's geographical virtual land platform. Okay, so they want this to be a virtual reality game, and that's how they are commercially representing this to people. But as of right now, as of May 30th of 2021, there's nothing about this that resembles a video game whatsoever. So let's first take a look at Mapbox, what they're talking about right here, Mapbox. So Mapbox is a developer that uses they do a lot of stuff for maps, navigation, and like GPS that you would see in your car, GPS you would use on your phone, and a lot of that stuff. I didn't look heavily into it, but it's pretty self-explanatory from what you see right here. They have a lot of how-to videos here on how to add markers to your map using Mapbox GL. So it's basically a platform that you can make maps on. So that's how Earth 2 is using Mapbox to have their full rendering of the Earth. I don't know if they got their grid system from Mapbox. However, if we go back right over here, we look and see that they're using also 5CA. And 5CA, I found a YouTube video here. We'll just watch it real quick.
So you published a game, your players love it, and your player base is growing. But no matter how great the game is, some of your players will need support. They'll have questions about the game, about payments, bugs, or they might simply get stuck. You want to provide a quality experience to your players inside the game and great support outside of it. But player support can be costly and complex. Your player base may be global, speak any number of different languages, and will be playing around the clock. So how do you support them at any time, in their language, through multiple channels, at a low cost? We are 5CA, with years of experience in the gaming industry.
Alright guys, so basically 5CA is your customer support that they're using for Earth 2. And if we go over here to Earth 2, let me find it real quick, and you go to their fact page, it has a whole thing right here that lets you go to different categories that you might have a problem with something as you play Earth 2 that's not really a game. But they even have game category right here, and if you click on it, it has a bunch of questions that you can click on, like to what extent will chance influence the game, question mark. Will there be a co-op mode? Will I be able to wage war against other players and stuff like that? So I'm guessing that 5CA is probably the ones that set them up with this page as kind of a customer support type situation. They even have stuff like report a player, even though there's no players. Withdraw information, which is probably one that's visited quite often. Account issues, external uses. So 5CA is basically just your basic customer service support thing, from what I understand so far. So it looks like they have their own website right here. Set up your CX free. We're 5CA. Let's watch this real quick. How long is it?
The Netherlands. 5CA scan initiated. Welcome to 5CA's Global Customer Experience Hub. where we bring together the best people, processes, and technology to deliver customer experience that's free from barriers, geography, and limits. All of which we do while celebrating our inner unicorn. We've pioneered working from home for more than 15 years, so it's our way of life. We find domain experts and specialists who love your brand and hire them to do your CX. We can do this.
Alright, so customer service platform, guys, in a nutshell. So we've gone over Mapbox and 5CA. Neither of them is an actual game engine. There's no game engine involved here. Right now we have a map simulator with a grid system where you can buy tiles, and we have a customer support service team that helps gamers and game platforms with customer service issues. So right here under Earth 2 Vision, which is a bit on their main page, we aim for Earth 2 to be the beginning of Earth's fully immersive virtual reality simulator to The Matrix or Ready Player One, and we are so excited to engage this journey together. Guys, this is a huge red flag for me, I'm going to be honest. The reason why I say that is because if you were going to build a virtual game, why would you compare yourself to The Matrix or Ready Player One? It's like the most lofty, insane goal because the technology just doesn't exist for us to get there yet. Maybe in a couple of years, maybe in a decade, we can put on our virtual headset and we can have something that remotely comes close to something like Ready Player One. But the fact of the matter is that the sheer scale of the entire planet Earth open world can't be put into a game engine and have it render for 1 million players at the same time. And let me show you this video real quick that they have on their own website right now called the Easter Egg Hunt. We're only going to watch about 30 or 40 seconds of it because this looks like it could have been done in a game engine, or if it wasn't, it's done in some sort of like movie platform maker. But let's watch a little bit about this. So it shows a Jeep here, and it shows the grids. Let me turn it down just a little bit. It shows all these buildings popping up out of the ground, and that's really cool and all, but what they're trying to tell you is that the players will be the ones able to build these gigantic structures on their plots of land. And they show it like it's an open world platform here, where the horizon just never ends. And that to me is false advertising, because if you have players, let me just pause it real quick. If you have, let's just say you have 1,000 players on the same game engine, on the same server, and each one of those players gets to build their own buildings on their land and then populate the inside of those buildings with hundreds or thousands of objects. There's just no way possible any game engine with today's technology can take that amount of stress load. Even having 200 versus 200 PvP sessions in today's gaming technology is very difficult. I mean, just look at what Ashen's Creation is going through, trying to have 200 versus 200 PvP simulations on their new game engine. Saying that you can have the entire planet Earth populated by however many people buy your land tiles and then build all these crazy structures on them, and then who knows what's going to be inside, who knows what else is going to be outside with as far as assets go, let alone the player characters themselves. The technology doesn't exist to be able to do that right now. Let's finish this up real quick. So now they show it being zoomed out, you know. I mean, it's a great video. It's really cool. I like the idea of it. You just have to take my word for it, and if you don't take my word for it, do some research of your own on how much, you know, the most extensive gaming engine right now can possibly take as a load. You know, even Unreal Engine 5 that they're developing right now is completely amazing, but I seriously doubt you could put the whole planet Earth in one game engine and have all those people interact at the same time. It just seems impossible to me at this point. And also, guys, I'd like you to try and consider, why didn't they, if they want to make a game, we'll just go by what they say on their website, you know, if they want to make a game, why didn't they start out with the gaming engine and incorporate the tiles into that and then sell those tiles? I understand that they want to do a 1.1 version of the entire planet Earth, but nothing about this and the way they went about it makes sense as to trying to convince people that this isn't some kind of a scam. And the way they have it set up so that one tile can be worth just 600% more within days of after you purchase it, when there's still pieces of land on their 1.1 scale of Earth that haven't even been bought yet, makes absolutely no sense, because there aren't even resources currently put in their map system. I'm not going to call it a game anymore because it's not a game. I could understand if the resources on the tiles had large quantities of one specific resource versus other ones, and that made the tiles worth a lot more than other tiles. But the way it's set up now, you're basically buying thin air, and there's no difference between buying a tile right next to the ocean or in Paris versus buying a tile in the middle of Africa, because there are no resources. There's nothing separating one from the other telling me that one is worth a lot more than the other one. Alright, my friends, let's talk real quick about the class systems. How are land classes determined? The class of land you own is determined by the number of tiles sold in a particular country. Early investors and believers in the game who purchase tiles early are rewarded Class 1 tiles. The more tiles that are sold in a particular country, the higher the class. That just contradicted itself, I'm pretty sure. Can the land class change over time? No. When you have purchased a piece of land that is now a Class 2 tile, it cannot become a Class 1 tile over time. The class is only linked to the time of purchase, not the land development. Are only Class 1 tiles available? Most probably not. Since there is no correlation between the location of a tile and the class, you could own a piece of land on 5th Avenue in New York City, a densely populated area with a large potential for advertising and property tax, that still might be worth more than owning a piece of Class 1 land in the middle of nowhere. What does the class determine? The only difference in Class 1, 2, and 3 is the periodic credit they may receive for that country. Class 1 will generate the most, Class 2 a little less, and Class 3 a little less. Class 4 may also generate some periodic credit. That is the only difference, it says. All other land bought in any class will have some rights and abilities as all classes when it comes to generating resources, building, terraforming, and more. There will still be great values of owning any class of land. Class 1, 2, 3 will just have a little more return over time. Wow. It kind of makes sense, but at the same time, what if none of these people are buying properties in the areas that have the best resources? They have absolutely no way of knowing. And I know I'm probably sound like I'm repeating myself a lot, but it just blows my mind that people are willing to pay thousands of real life dollars for something that they have no idea of what they're actually buying. And to me, this is just the biggest red flag. Mind completely explodes when I see people spending 10s, 20s, 500,000, maybe $1 million on land, and frankly, it makes my stomach hurt a little bit. Alright, for all of you that made it to the end of this video, let me just say thank you so much. You obviously have a passion about what's going on with Earth 2, and I'm going to continue to make videos about this. My next video, which will be part 4, is going to compare Earth 2 to another kind of land simulator game, and I'm going to compare the two together, even though Earth 2 is not a game and the other platform is a game that's been around since 2003. I think you're going to like it, and it's going to show you what this game Earth 2, I just called it a game again, what this platform Earth 2 could be, because it's already been done and it's been around for almost 20 years now. So I look forward to seeing you on that one. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button for me. I really appreciate it. Give me a big thumbs up on the video to help me out with that YouTube algorithm, and leave me a comment and let me know, have you invested in Earth 2, or do you also think it's a huge red flag and possibly the biggest scam to hit the internet in years? Thank you so much for watching. My name's Roger, and I'll see you on the next adventure. Take care, everybody.